Hey guys, it is me, the Emerald Sword, and welcome back to another video, where today I will be reviewing The Long Walk, because as you can see, it is right there. So, but also, yes, this is the 85 Bachman Books collection, but if you cannot get that or don't want that, there is a single edition right here. So basically, I've been wanting to get to The Long Walk for a long time now. I keep hearing great things about it. I'm either hearing that it's like the greatest Bachman book or the greatest Stephen King book, or it's at least at the top somewhere. And yeah, so of course, last time we looked at Thinner, which was not in this collection for whatever reason, but The Long Walk is. It was the second book on there. So, as you can see, The Long Walk is fairly short. I mean, the book is pretty small. The only reason it probably has really that many pages in the first place is, because of how small the book is. But anyway, I really enjoyed The Long Walk. Like, it was better than I expected it to be, and I was already expecting it to be pretty good. Basically, it revolves around this guy named Ray Garrity, and he gets accepted into this giant walking competition called the Long Walk. And what the Long Walk is that basically you have a starting line, and then, yes, I have a starting line right here, and then when the signal goes, you start walking, and you walk, and you can't stop walking until you're the last one alive. Pretty crazy, right? Yeah, like there's no rest stations anywhere. You can't like take a break and then resume the next day or whatever. You start walking and you keep walking. And there's a lot of rules, most of which we don't even hear about, but there's a lot of rules, like they can't get any outside help. So there's a lot of crowds watching. They can't like give you anything or whatever. You can only get help from whatever you were given before the Long Walk starts, or whatever the soldiers give you. They give you like a tube of food and like some crackers and stuff and a canteen of water, and that's about it. Basically, the book is about 10 hours long, according to the audiobook I followed along with, but it does not overstay its welcome. And in fact, every second is just pure horror. So, like, basically, as I said, it starts with 100 boys, and they have to walk until they die, basically. And the race only stops when there's one person left alive. There's no finish line. The finish line is staying alive all the way to the end. And so Garrity, of course, makes a couple friends, most of which are this guy named McVries. There's one named Baker. There's one named Parker. And Scram, that's another one. And then there's some antagonistic characters like Barkovich or Olson or Stebbins. And so basically, throughout the book, because, it's walking, most of the content in the book is just walking and talking. But it's actually very interesting walking and talking, because we get to know a lot about the characters. Like for McVries, we know that he got a scar because of a very ruined relationship that happened before the walk, and Stebbins, I think, the general or the major who's like overseeing the Long Walk is his father, but he doesn't know about it possibly. So like all sorts of interesting stuff like that. It's a lot of character development, which Stephen King, and by extension Richard Bachman, is really good at. So, yeah, I really like the book, but towards the end, of course, it gets more depressing because, of course, the non-main characters die first. We do hear a lot of their names, but they're not all main characters. But, like, in the closing pages of the book, all the main characters start to die. Like, Baker dies, Parker dies, Olson dies, Barkovich dies, and then it's down to our main guy, Garrity, Stebbins, and McVries. And McVries is like done running. So what he does is he decides to stop walking, and he dies, which is very emotional. Garrity is like destroyed by it. That was like his best friend. So then now it's down to him and Stebbins. And after Garrity loses McVries, he doesn't have really anything to fight for. But then he looks at Stebbins. He's like, "I'm gonna walk you into the ground." So it's a heated competition. So then they walk for a little bit, and then Stebbins just dies. Yeah, Stebbins just dies, which means Garrity wins the Long Walk. Hooray! And in the final pages of the book, he sees this like dark figure. We never find out who this dark figure is, by the way, but he seems to recognize the dark figure. And so what he does is that he finds the strength to run, and that's where the book ends. He presumably runs up to the dark figure. But I have a couple theories about that. I'm suggesting that the dark figure is his father, because he mentioned earlier in the book that his father was like taken away by the squads for having political opinions, I guess you could say, when he was like 5. He's like 16 now, so it's been like 11 years. But it's never confirmed that it was his father because, as I said, we don't know who it actually is, and we don't know any relation to the dark figure. But I'm just guessing that it's Garrity's father, which makes sense to me. If you have other theories, I'd love to know about it. But anyway, yeah, so the book is really good. As I said, I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. I never thought I'd like a book about just walking and nothing but walking so much. But yeah, anyway. So, interestingly enough, a day or two before I started reading the book, the news came out that the Long Walk movie, which was in development limbo for such a long time, will begin filming in July, which, as of the filming of this video, is next month. And I thought, hey, that's really cool. If you remember back to when I was reading The Running Man, they announced Glenn Powell as Ben Richards in the new Running Man movie as I was reading The Running Man. So it's kind of funny that they're announcing that the Long Walk movie will actually start filming right before I start reading the Long Walk book. But yeah, anyway, those are just my thoughts. I really enjoyed the book. I'd say it's probably my second favorite Bachman book behind Rage, controversial as it is. I put it above Roadwork and Thinner for sure. And then The Running Man, I'll just have to leave that to the ranking that I'm going to do eventually. But anyway, yeah, so this is the 5th Bachman book I've read, and it'll be the last Bachman book for a while. I'm actually going to read one more Stephen King book for now, and then I will do another book, which I'm sure all of you will be very happy about. But I will not review, I will review the book, but I will not reveal what the book is currently until the video. So if that interests you, be sure to like the video and subscribe so that you can see whatever book I will read next after the next Stephen King book. But yeah, those are just my thoughts about The Long Walk. I really enjoy it. It's probably my second favorite Bachman book behind Rage. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Anyway, I've been Ben from the Emerald Sword, and I will see you guys next time.